Welcome everyone! Today's build is called the Golem. We are starting by doing the landscape. The version is 1.18 and some of the tools that I normally use for this part are not yet available, so I had to do the mountains manually, which took way longer but was worth it in the end. So the way I do this is by marking a rough frame and then filling everything with sand. I guess you could speed things up by leaving the interior empty, but in this case we want it to be completely full, and soon you'll see why. We are going for a mesa-like biome. I chose hot colors at first for the top, and darker ones for the base stone. Having everything filled up allowed me to carve holes inside of the rock, and reshape the highest parts to resemble the erosion process. So in the end it looks way more unique, especially when I change the colors for some colder stony ones. For the second mountain I followed the same process. This one was bigger, but I managed to do it way faster because I already knew the style we were going for. And let's be honest, it's really satisfying to see a 3-hour process compressed in 20 seconds. And with that, we have done the most important feature of the landscape. Now it's time for the golem. I started with the legs and worked this out from the bottom to the top, piece by piece. Ignore the diamond thing, it was an idea that didn't make it through. I wanted it to look chunky and surreal, but it was also humanoid, so finding a balance took quite a bit of time. As you may see, I went over the same things over and over again. For the head, I really liked the first shape, but the face was looking too menacing. And then it looked sad, till I finally removed the mouth. The mouth was definitely the problem. I took inspiration from a film from Studio Ghibli, Princess Mononoke, a really nice film to watch. So I rotated everything, started with the arms, where I also decided that it had to have every part connected or disconnected. It couldn't have both. I carved a hole in the chest, which we will use later, and even added feet, which in the end will end up covered. With some placeholder blocks for vines, it was time to paint everything. I used a base of regular stone and then painted it with some mossy variations, close to the vegetation, and clear ones for the cleaner parts. In the core, we will have this giant amethyst shield, which simply looks amazing. It's such a nice addition to the game. And for the eyes, I only knew I wanted them to be shiny. But I couldn't decide between blue, purple and green. Until I found this very cool combination between lime glass and yellow glass. With the eye color settled down, I had to tie every part of the golem's body with this sort of magical energy that holds it together. For the final touches, I added some overgrowth caves inside the main body, a small house hanging there all alone. Who lives there? I don't know. We can leave that for a future story. And in the other shoulder, another lore feature, involving a weird mechanical gear. With all that, it was finally time to place the golem where it was meant to be. Luckily, it fulfilled the only thing that I wanted from the very beginning, the golem being taller than the mountains. I filled the floor with a combination of glass to resemble a foggy effect, and with that the general build was complete, but we still need to work on something more. You see, this golem has worked who knows for how long to bring a gift to humanity, but so far it was such a desolated place. We need humanity. So I started with a bridge. I had a design in mind and luckily it worked pretty well. I must ask you to ignore again the blue thing on the side, it will get deleted, I promise. I removed the hideous structure on the side and built a small eroded hill instead. And at top of it, we will start with a pathway curving and twisting along the mountain, leading to some entrances into the bridge itself, and to the lower parts of the mountains where the people will settle down their homes. For the houses, I must admit I went for some really weird designs, but I like them. Let's say these people are weird and build their homes out of terracotta. I mean, they live in mountains full of that after all. They mine the clay, cook it in ovens, and paint it to build their homes. It makes sense to me. In the other side of the bridge, we will have the actual mines. I started with a very simple watchtower where I imagined the commander and the officers giving orders from atop. On the edges of the cliff, the spikes were really nice as a natural barrier mixed with some mine-made barricades. For the first mine, I went for something very classical with some places for storage and a cart to carry the extracted clay. Then I followed the natural flow of the mountain to build a path that connects the first camp with the second one. Here I built an elevator, because the mine will actually be higher up. There wasn't much room up there, so I had to improvise the lifting mechanism. I copied the same watchtower and added some more carts. And finally, I added a tent for the officers to rest and plan everything out. I said the Golem was bringing a gift, but we still don't have one. So, I started building a chunk of land on its hand that looks like it's been losing material all over the place. And on the top, I brought a feature from an older build. The Rune of Nature. That is the gift. Yes, the stories of the maps are connected. Now, enjoy the cinematic.